You ever feel like the whole world's moving too fast? Like you gotta run just to keep up? But somehow the finish line keeps shifting further out. That's how it was for me, standing in Atlanta airport in a suit I'd saved for months to buy, running on nothing but nerves and black coffee, trying to get to the most important interview of my life. I'd mapped everything out. 5 hours early, backup plans for backup plans, you name it. But you know how life is. Soon as I stepped out the door, the universe started throwing curveballs, one after another. And all I could do was keep moving and hope my luck would turn. First it was the taxi, late as always, then TSA with their so-called random screening, digging through my bag while I watched businessmen, not a one that looked like me, walk right on through, cracking jokes with the security guards. I just kept my face straight, nodded, said, "Yes, sir, business in Chicago," even though the sting of being singled out burned in my gut. By the time I got my shoes back on and hustled to my gate, my precious time buffer was down to nothing. That's when I saw her, an elderly black lady, hair perfect, dress pressed, trying to gather up her suitcase that had spilled all over the floor. People flowed around her like she was invisible. Staff, travelers, everybody. And in that moment, with my whole future hanging on, whether I made that flight, something in me said, "You see her? Don't you dare act like you don't." So I dropped my bag, knelt down and asked, "Ma'am, can I help you with that?" She smiled, called me young man, and let me scoop up her things. A journal, some glasses, a silver pillbox. Name was Clara Williams, and you better believe her ticket said Chicago, just like mine. Now, I can't lie. I was watching that clock, thinking about the door at my gate that could slam shut any second, but I couldn't bring myself to leave her behind. So we walked together, my pace matching hers, every step feeling heavier, every announcement for final boarding making my heart pound harder. When we got there, the gate agent barely looked up. "Sorry, boarding's closed," she said, eyes cold as ice. But then a white guy ran up out of breath, handed over his ticket, and she scanned him right through, not a word. "We were here before him," I said, voice calm but firm. She shot me a look. "Sir, don't get aggressive or I'll call security." That's the word they use, you know? Aggressive. Just for asking to be treated fair. Clara touched my arm, told me, "It's not worth it today." That hurt more than anything, knowing she'd seen this movie 1,000 times before. Probably since before I was born. We got put on standby, told to wait 5 more hours, while my dream job in Chicago slipped further away. I stepped aside, called the company, begged for a later interview, even a phone call. "Sorry, position's being filled today." That was it. Months of work, years of dreaming, gone in a snap. I sat down next to Clara, tried not to show I was breaking inside. She saw right through me. "You lost something big, didn't you?" I nodded. She squeezed my hand and said, "Your kindness will come back around. Maybe not the way you expect." Clara offered to buy me lunch, said we could at least sit somewhere comfortable. Hostess sat us by the kitchen, though there were open tables by the windows. You know how that goes. Clara asked, real polite, if we could move, said her ears didn't do well with all that noise. Hostess mumbled something about priority guests, but Clara just looked at her and asked, "And what makes someone a priority here?" Next thing you know, we're sitting by the window. Best seat in the house. Over sandwiches, Clara asked about my life, my dreams, why I wanted the job so bad. I told her straight up, I wanted to matter, to make sure folks like us weren't invisible in those boardrooms, that my mama's sacrifices meant something. She just smiled, told me, "Don't let this place turn you bitter, Marcus." 5 hours later, back at the gate, déjà vu, we're told we're on standby again, but a white family of 4 who strolled up late got walked right on the plane. I'd had enough. "We were confirmed on this flight. We've been here all day," I said. The agent's face went hard. "Sir, I'm following protocol. Don't be aggressive." There it was again. Clara told me to get her a glass of water, and while I was gone, she pulled out a phone that cost more than my rent and made a call. A few minutes later, this guy in a tailored suit comes marching over, all apologies, calls her Mrs. Williams, and suddenly the agents are falling over themselves to get us on a private flight. Turns out, Clara Williams wasn't just anybody. She was the founder of the whole Airline, used to be the first black woman to fly commercial in the state, but no company would hire her. So she started her own. Every year, she flies incognito, just to see how people like us get treated. "Today was a failure," she said. "But you remembered what matters." She marched me into a boardroom full of suits, rolled out security footage, showed them every slight we'd experienced. "This is about culture," she told them, "not policy. And it ends now." Clara made sweeping changes on the spot. New training, new standards, real accountability. Then she turned to me, said, "I need a new VP for customer experience, someone who remembers what it feels like to be unseen. That's you, if you want it." I couldn't speak. After a whole day feeling like nothing, I realized I'd just landed somewhere better than I ever could have dreamed. 6 months later, I walked that same terminal in Atlanta, badge on my chest, stopped to help an old man with his bags, didn't think twice. That's what winning looks like. Not just getting ahead, but bringing others with you. Now, let me ask you, if you'd been in my shoes, would you have stopped to help Clara or kept your eyes on your own prize? How many times have you seen someone passed over or been called aggressive for just standing up for yourself? Drop your stories in the comments. Let's talk about what real dignity means. Sometimes the door that shuts on you is the one that leads you exactly where you're meant to be. You know what I mean?